As trends continue to grow in the tech space, any conference that you're seeing, like the Microsoft Build, AWS reInvent, all of these huge conferences that are happening, we're starting to see a pattern and what the industry is targeting, who the industry is targeting, not just conferences, but even all these different tools and platforms that we're seeing all the time. It's targeting developers, but not really the way that you may think. What is going on, everybody? My name is Michael Levan. Thank you so much for joining me today. And what I wanted to talk about is I think a topic that's like really hitting home to a lot of people. There are still so many sysadmins out there, so many infrastructure engineers out there. It's not something that's, going away. I don't think. I don't think it's ever going to go away. However, it is transitioning. We're seeing it all over the place right now. So the first thing that we're seeing is all of the platforms. I mean, all the platforms, they're focusing, they're saying they're a DevOps platform, but realistically, they're an automation platform. We're seeing all these different tools coming out. We're seeing all these different cloud services coming out, and it's all, automated. Everything is focused from an automation perspective. And 9 times out of 10, when you're thinking about from an automation perspective, it typically means something that has to do with code. So code, it's sometimes it's a scary thing to think about. I mean, when I first started in tech, I started out purely in infrastructure. I mean, I was like against writing code. Like, I just didn't think that it would be fun. I didn't think that I would enjoy it. Now I write code every day and I love it. But here's the thing: there's no like clear path. If you're following the trends, I mean, if you're in the infrastructure space, you have to learn how to code. Now, here's the thing: this is what people don't tell you. When I say you have to learn how to code, I don't mean that you have to go and like create the new Twitter or create some crazy application and go make millions of dollars. I'm saying that you have to maybe script with PowerShell or Bash. You have to do a little bit of programming and a little bit of development from an automation perspective with Python and Go. You got to do a little bit of HCL so you can build out your infrastructure with Terraform. Maybe you want to use ARM templates, so you got to use some JSON. What else? Maybe CloudFormation templates if you're in AWS. So these are the things that I mean by code. For example, with me, I do create like integrations for applications and stuff like that. Like, I've worked on writing a Terraform provider. I've written GitHub Actions. I've written different, web applications and stuff like that that run in a container. But I'm not like writing the next Twitter, or I'm not, writing the next huge application. Really, what I focus on and what I love is automation code. Now, automation code comes in all shapes and sizes. So for example, I just put out a video on using Pulumi and Go, or Golang if you're not familiar with the term Go. And really what it's doing is in the video, I'm creating an AKS, or an Azure Kubernetes service cluster it's literally being created. It has a state stored like you would see in Terraform, and that state is just like the metadata of your environment. But I'm doing it writing code. I'm doing it writing, in Go. And that gives me the ability to, for example, write tests around that, follow development practices, all of that stuff. So what I want to do in this little series is I want to talk about what it looks like to go from infrastructure to developer, or infrastructure developer, or cloud developer, whatever you want to call it. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't have anything to do with being the best developer in the world. I mean, I don't even know what the best developer in the world looks like, because I think like once you get over the beginner level topics, like what a function is, what a variable is, what slices are, and arrays and types and all that stuff. I think after that, like everything kind of mushes together. Like, is it intermediate? Is it advanced? Like, for example, if I'm not a front end guy and somebody says, hey, go build a front end application with, this, and that, it's going to be advanced to me because I've never done it. However, to a front end developer, that may be a beginner or intermediate level topic. So I don't really believe in like intermediate and advanced. I more believe in what you're focused on and what you're doing. And that's what makes it, intermediate or advanced or whatever. So this is the first few things we're going to talk about from more of like a computer sciencey perspective. things like maybe like what pointers are, what imperative versus is declarative is, what immutable versus mutable is. All of these things that you will need to know transitioning from infrastructure to infrastructure automation engineer or cloud development engineer, whatever. I'm going to call it cloud developer. You can call it infrastructure developer or scripter or whatever you want. Throughout this, I'm going to be calling it cloud developer. The next thing is testing. When you think of like infrastructure as code with Terraform and Ansible, a lot of people don't write tests, unit tests, mock tests, integration tests. Again, all of these things we're going to be going over, but it's a big part of being a developer, and it's a big part of pushing out quality code. Next, we're going to talk about source control, where you store code, what centralized source control is versus distributed, and why one is better than the other depending on the situation that you're in. Next thing we'll talk about is different scopes of work, something called sprints. So you have like a 2-week set of work or a 2 to 6 week set of work. Something really cool to take a look at is you can find it for free online. It's called Basecamp's Shape Up. Basecamp, the company, they made this kind of like what their culture looks like. And it's called Shape Up. It's a really, really great read. If you're looking to enhance your culture, it's awesome. I love it. The second thing we'll talk about is scripting like a programmer. So if you're an infrastructure person, you may not want to say like I'm a developer or something like that. You may say like I script stuff. Well, scripting and programming, there's no difference. Functions aren't different, variables aren't different, types aren't different, and nothing's different from a language perspective. Like if you're scripting in Python or you're programming in Python, it's the same thing. There's no difference. Then we're going to talk about CI/CD or continuous integration and continuous delivery with multiple different platforms. It should be pretty vendor agnostic, to be honest. We're just going to be talking about like what the concepts are, and we'll go through it and take a look. And then finally, good old code editors, script editors. Maybe, you know what, I might put code editors and script editors in the beginning, because if we go through demos and we're writing code, you might be like, well, what is this? IDEs, code editors, text editors, whatever. We're going to be looking at that too. So with that, thank you so much for watching. If you think that you're going to be interested in something like this, if you're an infrastructure person and you want to learn more development, because quite frankly, I think you have to at this point. I don't think that there's any stopping it. I'm going to say this again, third time I think. You don't have to write the next Twitter. You don't have to write the next huge application that you're going to sell for millions of dollars. You just need to know some code concepts, and it's going to help you get a much better job. It's going to help you learn a ton, and it may even help you be passionate and excited about what you're working on now. So with that, let's jump right in.